We are proud to welcome today 3 of the New Zealand All Black players for a Q&A. They're in town to play Ireland next week and are taking time out of their schedule to join us. Beauden Barrett, Finlay Christie, and Cam Roygard. A lot of eyes, but not as many as next weekend. We're excited. If we want to kick things off, if you don't mind, if we could go right down the row, we can start with you, Beauden. It'd be great to find out, how did you start in rugby, and what was kind of the path that led you to the All Blacks roster?
Yeah, thanks very much. Firstly, it's great to be here. Thanks for all coming out. It's quite confronting seeing some Springboks jerseys in the crowd, I must admit. Wherever we go, we seem to find them and bump into them. Yeah, but next week it's against another green team, the Irish, so we're looking forward to the game ahead. But how it all began for me is I grew up in New Zealand. We grow up, and most young lad wants to grow up and be an All Black. So I saw my father play at club and provincial level, and he inspired me to play. So ever since I was a 5-year-old, I had the ball in hand, and I just wanted to grow up and be like him.
Thank you. Finlay, and if you don't mind, there's a very interesting part of your history that involves gymnastics, if you wouldn't mind elaborating on.
You've done your homework. Pleasure to be here. Originally, throughout my young schooling years, I was a gymnast in New Zealand for about 10 years, so I took a bit of a different path. It took up most of my time throughout school, so I didn't start properly playing rugby till I was about 15. And from there, it was just a hobby. I loved playing with mates, and sort of managed to kick on after school, and here we are. So I'm grateful to be here.
Thank you. And Cam?
Hello, everyone. So much like many New Zealand kids, I just grew up, admiring the All Blacks and looking up to players on that side. Started playing rugby when I was 4 or 5 years old, playing touch rugby. I had an older brother which was playing. He's a couple years older than me, so when I saw him playing, I just wanted to be like him, like most younger brothers, and that's sort of how I got into the game. And then always enjoyed my footy or my rugby, and just had a massive passion for it. And I guess I was just lucky enough to develop through the years into the rep teams as we sort of got a bit older. And then 2023 was my first year in the All Blacks, so it was a dream come true.
Thank you very much for all of that. Asking around the crowd before about some questions that they might be interested in asking. The famous haka. What does the haka mean to you, and how does it feel performing this in front of a crowd and representing a nation?
Yeah, good question. Having travelled to the States before and all over the world, like a lot of people don't really know individual players, but they recognise the All Blacks or have heard of the All Blacks, and it's the haka that brings them to that. And what it's about is obviously traditionally it's a war dance performed by our Māori people. We use it, I guess, as a way to come together, to connect before a game, to honour our past people. But it's about us laying down a challenge. We use it in a way to connect. It's important with our timing, our rhythm, that we're all in sync, because we use that as almost a warm-up for the game. A lot of other teams or people may see it as a way to lose control and get aggressive and so on. But it's important that we stay in control in those moments. I guess put a bit of fear in the opposition, but it's obviously a great spectacle too. People love watching it.
Thank you very much. Finlay, we were catching up before about the travel that it took you to get here. Can you describe the passage leading up to this match from New Zealand to here? And then also, what is the team going to be doing over the course of this next week leading up to the match?
Yeah, it was about 24 hours from door to door. So we had a 13-hour flight through Houston, and then got in late last night, about 10:30. But obviously the game's not till next Saturday, so we have this weekend to sort of refresh and get the bodies right before Monday, getting into our game week. So the boys will connect this afternoon, get a chance to get out and see some sights in the city. I think we've got a golf group going out tomorrow, so some boys are looking forward to that. But mainly refresh, get the bodies right, and then come Monday we're ready for a test week.
There's an interesting aspect of rugby that we don't necessarily see in American sports, and that is the level of respect and also the open conversation between the teams and the referees.
I guess very demanding on the body, and I think with that comes a lot of respect for the side that you're playing, because obviously it's 15 people on the field trying to beat each other up, but I guess after that, I think the cool thing about rugby is that you're able to either you shake hands at the end of it and share a beer, or have a chat. A lot of the time talking about stuff outside of rugby, because obviously everyone's had their own different paths to be where they are, and everyone's very proud to represent their own nation. And I think it's the cool thing about rugby is the people that you meet.
Thank you. And this next one we'll ask all of you. We're removing ourselves from the field. What kind of hobbies do you have? And we can't say rugby or watches.
Yeah, for me, it's golf. I think these lads will say the same thing. Golf, I enjoy a good wine, and I grew up on the coast of Taranaki, so I enjoy the ocean.
Yeah, for me, golf as well. It's a great way to get out of the hotel, and also anything outdoors. Back home, we're lucky enough to have a lot of hunting and fishing opportunities, so I love my outdoor activities as well.
Yeah, for me, I enjoy playing golf as well, but I come from a motorsport background, so a bit of dirt oval racing, speedway, so that's something that sort of I was fortunate enough to be able to do when I was a little bit younger, so not sure what the equivalent would be for you guys here, similar to maybe, I don't know, NASCAR on dirt or something like that, but yeah.
Great, a lot of diverse answers. Thank you very much for that. And we must tie this back into the world of watches and the world of Tudor. What timepiece are you wearing today? And if you're not wearing one, what's the next Tudor that you're interested in?
No, we're all wearing one. It's Black Bay. Yeah. When you play 5 tests for the All Blacks, it's like the milestone test for to receive a watch. So it's not a given that you receive one when you become an All Black. So it's always a very nice thing to have, because obviously it's one of those things most people want a nice watch, but probably don't want to splash out and pay for it. So it's such a nice treat, reward to receive one of these. So I'm wearing an all white Black Bay.
I think I'm wearing a Black Bay as well. Not sure the exact model, but yeah, very privileged to have it.
I'm exactly the same as Finlay, I believe, just a different strap, but yeah.
Very nice. And is there a special engraving or a ceremony that comes when you're presented your 5 test match All Blacks timepiece?
Yeah, obviously everyone has their watch fitted. You'll see the players on Saturday, they all come in different shapes and sizes, so it requires the time to sit down and make sure that it's custom fit for their wrists. So no special engravings as such, but it's always a special moment to receive the watch.
Great. Thank you very much. And to round things out, before we start with meet and greet, some pictures, some autographs and things, I'd like to just run down the row and tell us, what is your favorite part of playing for the All Blacks and representing an entire nation?
Being able to travel and supposedly work at the same time. It was always a dream for me to play for the All Blacks, so to be here right now and to have done it for a number of years, it's still a privilege. But also when you work hard throughout a week and you have a great performance, things have worked that you've planned for, and you have a good test match win, enjoying that moment in the change rooms after the game, having a beer with your teammates, that's hard to beat for me.
For me, not necessarily just playing for the All Blacks, but rugby in general was always about the social side or the connection side. So similar to Bodie, being able to grow your relationships with some great mates, also some new ones when you get into new teams, and at the same time, like Bodie said, have a beer with some mates and as well the opposition after a game.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm just so grateful to be able to live out my childhood dream. Since I was 4 or 5 years old, I knew I wanted to be an All Black. Didn't think it was going to be possible, but to be in this position now is pretty surreal for myself, to be playing alongside players that I sort of looked up to, but then obviously being in here, being able to play with and against the best in the world, knowing that you are representing your nation, and that's got so much, I guess, rich history and pride, with the expectation to win every time we go out there is pretty cool to be a part of. And with that, the pressure is something that excites me, being able to, I guess, play on the big fields, or the big stages with the whole country behind you is pretty exciting.
Thank you all very much. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Ladies and gentlemen, Bowden Barrett, Finlay Christie, and Cam Roygard.